Many women were neglected and were prohibited from serving in military combat roles. When women wanted and decided to be included in World War I, the men were astonished and angry. Some women went overseas to help out. Women saw this as an opportunity to get rights. Women had to jump in and take over men's jobs. Without women, a lot of things would have failed, the agriculture and the factories. With millions of men away from home,
women took over men's traditional roles.
Women were mechanics, truck drivers, and most importantly, ambulance drivers. Women that knew how to drive were sent overseas, and they also worked as nurses and assistants in operating rooms. African American women were able to leave their domestic jobs and take over office and manufacturing jobs. There was also a small amount of African American women that served overseas as volunteers with the YMCA, meaning Youth Men's Christian Association. Aiming to improve communications on the Western Front between the Allied forces needed the creation of the Signal Corps Female Telephone Operators Unit. The unit recruited women who were bilingual in French and English to serve as the telephone switchboard operators on the Western Front. These women received physical training, observed strict military protocols, wore identity discs, and worked very close to the front line. These girls were nicknamed the Hello Girls and became known for their bravery and focus under pressure. When the Hello Girls returned after war, they didn't receive veteran status or benefits. It wasn't until 1977 that few surviving women telephone operators received recognition of their veteran status. This is Grace Brinker, who served in one of the few non-medical roles available to women. Banker led her unit on the war front, working through dangerous conditions. In 1919, Banker received a Distinguished Service Medal for her work and leadership. Marie Curie was a physicist and chemist that helped men in the war. She discovered polonium and radium, which are chemical elements. Marie Curie was part of the Red Cross Motor Service and an ambulance driver. With machines already being created and hospitals being so far, Marie Curie had an excellent idea. Curie invented the radiological cars nicknamed Little Curies. Little Curies were movable X-ray units that were used on the battlefield for soldiers. She trained 150 women, including herself, to be X-ray operators during the war. Years after the war, Marie Curie passed away from being exposed to so much radiation. The Navy needed more men in the war, and women wanted to help contribute, but obviously they weren't allowed to. So they created a group called Female Yeomen. Women started working in administrative jobs in offices. But later they worked as mechanics, truck drivers, telephone operators, and munition makers. The entry of the United States into fighting in Europe momentarily slowed the Longstream Nation campaign to win women's right to vote. Many feminists shelved their activism between 1917 and 1919 to support various relief and war industry efforts. Women served overseas as nurses, physicians, telephone operators, ambulance drivers, and entertainers. World War I changed the dynamic and strengthened the suffrage movement. Their activities in support of the war helped convince many Americans, including President Woodrow Wilson. The women gave great services to the nation during World War I. They were involved way more in World War II. They went across the country to work again as nurses, physicians, telephone operators, ambulance drivers, and entertainers. With great creations and leadership by Marie Curie and Grace Banker, being the mobile X-rays and telephone operators named Hello Girls. This really helped other people see that women should have rights. Even though World War I slowed down the process of winning women's rights to vote, the war showed everyone that women are capable to do anything a man can do. After protesting and fighting for decades, women finally took a step closer towards women's rights. The 19th Amendment finally passed in 1920. The right of citizens of the United States to vote shall not be denied or abridged by the United States or by any state on account of sex. The 19th Amendment was a great start to give women jobs, fair wages, and education.